Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Oberland Station and fixing up the Commonwealth. And today we're going to continue our conversion of this area up here, the shopping area. Thank you for all the comments and the likes in the last video. We're going to continue to work on this area today. We're going to do a couple of things. We're going to work on level 3 and level 2. And then we'll give you a little bit of a look and see how it is all coming together. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to make a little kind of alleyway out of these roofs that are in the wood tab. These little slanted roofs right there come with workshop rearranged. I'm going to run them all the way along here, not those ones that are a shorter one there. Just to give it, and this is just aesthetics, but I think it looks a lot nicer. Just like that. Run this all the way along. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. And it just makes it look a little bit more pleasing to the eye, and we'll put the posts in. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed this up because this is pretty standard stuff. Just make sure this looks supported, well supported, and you know, there we go. Boom, boom, boom. Pretty simple stuff. So, okay, just a minor detail, but it does make a difference to the overall look of this area. You can see a lot of things been tidied up since last you were here. And I've defined a little shop in here now. I wanted to try and do something a bit different, and I want to try and do that a bit in this settlement, and I'm always trying to do that in my builds as well. So I've defined a little area here with the floors from workshop rearranged or snappy house kits. I'm not sure which. I'm going to use one of the kits from snappy house kits here, and I want to have a corner door. So we're going to put corner door in there if it's got, yeah, like that. And you can see it's completely, it starts to give you a completely different feel and a different vibe from anything we've done previously. So I like to try these things, just see how they look. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but we need to move that the other way. For some reason it's not sitting exactly where I would like it to, but that's okay, we can live with that. Put a few of these in like that, and what my idea for this space here is the barbershop. Now, one of the things that really gives me, I don't know why it does it, why they snap the wrong way around, but all of a sudden I see that snaps in and we're good. So now I'm going to put some windows in the front here so we can see, it's got an overview of the farm area, the agriculture area, the growing area, whatever you want to call it, and it's nice and light in the area, and you can see, there we go. And again, that's snapping in a weird place, but just sometimes it's the angle, sometimes you just need to pick it up and pull it across. Have a sleep because it was getting a bit dark, and here we're coming back. So this is probably fundamental stuff for a lot of you, but at least it gives you an idea what you can do with some different materials, and we will do a wee bit of a tour at the end of this just so you can see what it looks like and how it all works. Now, one of the things that this does do is it gives me a bit of a headache, and I haven't solved it yet, but because this is an odd shape now, it gives me a bit of a headache up above on what I can do with this area. But we'll solve it. I'm pretty confident we'll be able to solve it, but I do have an idea what we can put above. But you can see this is already a kind of odd shape, and so either you build the same kind of shape above, or you try and kind of work it in a different way. So there you go. Very simple kind of way to do a shop, but it looks a little bit more formal. Like I said, that is going to be the barber's shop, corner shop, and it's something I've been wanting to do, having a corner kind of door for a while. The other crazy thing, I'm just going to put I'm just going to put that on there so I remember so I remember what shop it is. And I've got a long list of shops or ideas for shops that I want to put in here. Now, I don't know quite, oh, why is that sitting there on its own? I don't know quite what to put in that space yet. Space to our left that's raised, I've got a very good idea what I want to put in there. But one of the things I thought I could do is do something a little bit crazy. You can see that space there in here. And I thought, what could I do? Why don't we put a diner up there? Just put a diner up there and see how it looks. I'm going to speed up the build here because I use Bob's Iguana Diner from the Master Plan series, and it is pretty straightforward. If you've seen my Cutler's Bend build, you'll know this slots together pretty easily. Now, of course, when you say the words, it will work pretty easily in Fallout Land, you know for sure you're just going to have a number of dramas. So it took me a while to figure this one out. One of the big things, the reason I've left this in, I wanted to show this again because one of the big things that you have to consider is really how functional this diner is going to be, both internally and externally. The actual slotting together is pretty easy, but what you got to consider is, you can see there's some pieces that have a kind of counter, there's some pieces that don't have a counter. You can see there's a flat piece there sitting in there, and then I'm about to put one in with a counter. And that can, so my idea here is to have a kind of diner that you can walk into and sit down, or you can just sit on the stools here and just take in the view. So hence why I'm playing around with the different configurations. Now, those little counter areas sticking out do cause a lot of problems because it narrows that walkway a little bit. So again, something else you just got to think about in your design. And yeah, I faff around with this for quite a bit, trying to get the kind of, and falling off, trying to get the width of it, the size of it right. And there's no reason why there'd be a diner up here. I just thought it'd be a neat idea to put it up there and fall off numerous times while I'm doing it. Just see what it looked like. I'm pretty well progressed in the build, and I'm still not convinced if this fits or not, but it's just one of those crazy ideas. It's kind of just, yeah, why not? Why not just put it up there? It's unexpected. I like doing weird things. I do like doing things that people just don't expect to happen. And in the process, I found, like, I like this bit. I haven't seen this bit before. Maybe that would fit in there. Yeah, that takes a while. The other thing that it does cause a problem with now, if you look quite carefully, you'll see there's some floors down below, and so it does cause some issues with the shop I build below this one. But I do end up solving it. I have to actually relay the floor, the tiles on the floor with workshop rearranged or snappy house kits, because I have to convert the ceiling below, and then just anyway, we figure it out. You don't have to worry about it too much. And you can see build order here is fighting me like you wouldn't believe. That would go in before, make one adjustment, and then suddenly, it won't go in anywhere. So persistence, people, persistence will make it work. See, that will fit in there now. Weird, it's that one piece. I don't understand why that one piece is such a big problem. But anyway, there you go. And see, suddenly it snaps in. That makes no sense whatsoever. But anyway, we get there. Job done. And the diner is in. It's just a case of trying to snap all these pieces back in. So I probably should have done, in hindsight, I probably should have built this first and then done the barbers second, or the hairdressers, or whatever, salon, whatever you want to call it. Because you can see it's just a fight. However, this is, I'll leave all this stuff in for you guys, because it kind of shows you when you're kind of stuck or you're struggling, what you probably have to do in build order just to fix it and move things around. Now I've lost my barber's pole. Now there it is. It's over there. Just chuck that in there. Nice. Done. So I'm going to move on now. I'm going to quickly build a defensive turret at this edge of the settlement. Now you can see I've used a lot of these floors that come with the stairs, ladders and ramps from the master plan. I've actually swapped them out from the original barn kind of floors to define the walkways. I'm going to build a defensive tower in this corner here, and I think I'll probably do one in each corner of the settlement, just so that it looks pretty secure. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to put my prefab in, and then I'm going to put one, hopefully that will snap up there. Or we'll get something to snap up there first, because this is where the stairs are going to go. That tree is in the way. That's what the problem is. I'm probably going to have to take that tree out, or move this across one. But we will get there. Just got to use. There we go. Get some. There we go. So it's funny. The small ones will snap on. The big ones won't. So left this in just to show you how I'll get past some of this problem solving when I'm building. And we're going to build a little office also in here, a little security checkpoint, so that you can't just mosey on up the tower when you're doing your shopping. So there we go. So we'll put a set of stairs in there, and this will all be kind of secure area. And so far this build, it's been a strange one, because I had an idea, but it's causing me all kinds of things I've got to figure out and kind of solve as I go through. So we'll put that in there like that, and then we're going to run another stair from there up to the top, and then we'll build the tower on top of that. Now I'm lucky because of the mods I use. I can snap things on fairly easily to these ladders and whatnot, so it's not always possible with all these kind of wooden pieces, but anyway, and basically it's just what's fighting me here is the settlement boundary, and so it's something you just got to be a bit conscious of, that even though you're up high, you might be outside the settlement boundary a little bit. So it takes me a while just to kind of sort out the configuration of this tower. I want it to run a little bit bigger. These small floor pieces, these kind of quarter pieces, are brilliant for solving things and actually snapping into places where other building materials won't. So there you go, we got a platform, we're up nice and high. We could actually, if we wanted to, run a something across. I'm going to be able to get that. We could actually run something across onto the diner there if we really, really wanted to, and we might do that at some point in the future. But yeah, there we go. We've got a defensive tower happening now, which is going to look all right. And this is something you can do pretty quickly. And if you snap some walls off of this now, it will act as a natural settlement wall. So let's make it look as though it is supported to some point. Here we go. Yep. And that, for some reason, of course the last one we need to snap isn't going to snap because it's sitting because of the boundary, but we'll convince it into place like that. There we go. So that all looks nice and supported there. And what I may do is I may not show you the little security office. I'll certainly show you what I do. So up here, and I do end up having to reconfigure this area a little bit, but anyway, you'll get the general idea. And this is actually done a quick build on this a while back. So all you have to really do is snap a whole lot of railings in place. I like to have these kind of longer railings to define the stairs like that, and it feels like it's an enclosed stairway well as you come up, and then it will open out. And then I usually use the railings you get with master plan vanilla extensions. The barn tab is the one I usually like to use. Yeah, those ones. Makes it look like a kind of World War II kind of tower. So I like using those. Sometimes they can be a bit difficult to snap, but you get the idea. It's pretty simple just to drop them in. And I don't know why sometimes they're difficult to snap, but anyway, I can persuade them into place for the series of this. And generally, the last thing I will do is put a little bit of a roof on the tower here, just for an area for the guards to stay kind of dry and sit under, and that's pretty much the tower done. So I'll do that and that so that the roof will snap onto it. And again, because I'm running the mods I'm running, my roof will snap onto this without any dramas. Yours might not, so what you would do is just put a wall on to start with, and then you can snap it off the wall. It's the other way of getting around it. See, so here we go. Get rid of the first one. Job done. Put some pillars in, and we're done. So we're going to hop downstairs now, and we're going to show you us building the little security office. So just to isolate this a little bit and make it nice and secure, we're going to build a little checkpoint office in here. I'm going to use settlement objects expansion, which is a Xbox One specific mod, and the reason we're going to do that is they've got really cool walls in this pack, and I've used them a couple of times now, and I really like the look of them. There they are there. Now initially what I do is I put a door in there, and then I change it. So obviously I'm not putting it in there at the moment, but I do at some point, and end up changing it out because it just, the way that I actually end up designing this area, it just doesn't work. So you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. See, I put that door in there, it really doesn't work for me, and it isn't until the final tour that you'll see what I just end up putting a wall in there, because my idea was that you could come into the office from behind, but the way that I designed this area, I realised there just really isn't a need for that to be there anyway. So I'll put a wall in there and a wall in there. So I don't know why that one's not snapping, but we will convince it into place like that. We might have to switch the snapping off to get it to play ball. I think it's interfering with that barn wall, to be honest, but wants to snap everywhere except the place I want it to snap, as you can see. Yeah, go figure. So again, we're just going to switch the global collision off if it will play ball, and we'll probably have to switch the snapping off as well. Now switching snapping off is a bit of a dangerous thing to do, because then you've got to remember to switch it back on, and yeah, I don't always do that, and then I'm scratching my head why things aren't working. But anyway, there we go. General snapping off, so it won't snap to anything except so you can place it much easier. So if you're getting that same problem where it's snapping to everything, that's what you need to do to get it to work. There you go. Job done. And just to ease it back just a fraction, so it sits in there nicely. Now, while I'm anti-shimmering, I need to then switch snapping. Not quite right. Sometimes if you do that, you need to look away and then look back. Now you can see I'm going, hang on, that should just snap in there, and it's not. Oh, that's right, I've got snapping switched off. I've got to switch it back on to get it to snap. There we go. Done. And that's the little office area. We're going to put a door in front of us, and therefore it will be a little bit more secure getting up to that first level and up into the tower. So lots of little bits and pieces today, guys. I know it's there's nothing spectacular in what I've done today, but it's important. There's a whole lot of things that I wanted to leave in there so you could see kind of how to get around a few areas that I came across as we fall off for about the 15th, 19th, 100th time. But there's just a few areas that problems I come across, and I think it was important for me to leave it in there just so that you can see how at least I work at how to get around those issues. So next thing that we're going to do is we're going to put a little doorway in here just to define it. And Workshop Rearranged have kindly put in these single doorways, which are fantastic, like that. And then that allows us to just make this really nice and secure, this area. And keep it away from the general public. So what we're going to go do is we're going to go to the tour now, and you can see how this all kind of works out nicely. So here's a nice little progression tour. You'll see some stuff that I've built that I've decorated and built that you haven't seen before. So here's a little security area. Probably need to do a little bit more decoration in here, but you sort of get the idea. Some probably need to put a table there, but little checkpoint. You can run up here like this, and we're up into the security area. Kept the kind of decoration fairly sparse, but you can see you get a pretty good view of incoming enemies from this corner of the settlement. Up down here. And I'll show you a shop I've put together, which you haven't seen anything of, but like I said, you can see I've put these kind of meshes in along here to put the wall. And we have the power armor shop, which is a pretty simple design. So for all your power armor needs, you can pick your models. Obviously we've got some display models here, the Flames one, and this is XO1. I've got a T60 in there, and the Abraxo 251F. And you can get your power armor repaired here if you need to. And there's some collectibles there as well. Oh, somebody's left a Pip Boy lying around. Moving along, let's have a look at what we've done with the barber shop. Again, kept it pretty neat and tidy and to the point. You get your hair washed in a bit of a blow dry and haircut and whatnot if you need to. Not sure what I'm going to do with that area yet. I'm going to make it a store. Any suggestions you can make would be gratefully appreciated. And I've added a few things to the diner at this point, but not a great deal. We just kind of put some stuff in here. It needs decoration, obviously. And I'll do that a little bit later. Again, you got a good view from up here. And lastly, I have got a white goods store that I've put in to the right here. Pretty simple to do. There you go. So I hope you've enjoyed it, guys. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time on Gaming for XP. See ya! Sure you keep up with all the new content on Gaming for XP. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell, and we'll let you know once we've uploaded anything that's new. See ya!